Behind me, you see $200,000. You see it? I see it. Today, we'll talk about a $200,000 foundation budget that's located on a slope and a foundation as low as $50,000 on a flat land plot. So, why is a foundation on a slope so expensive? Generally, we always start with the design. Even a foundation project on a slope will cost more than a foundation on a flat. I don't know why. Probably because the engineer does additional calculations for the slope foundation. But, for example, a foundation on a flat land plot will cost you $2,000. A foundation on a slope will cost from about $3,500 to $10,000 or more. When the project is ready and permits have been obtained, you can proceed with construction. The first stage of construction is preparing the land plot and preparing your site. And if your foundation is on a straight land plot, it will only take a few hours. You just level the ground, prepare it for the start of the operation, and that's it. But if your foundation's on a slope, as it is in this case, you'll need to do several stages and several levels, especially if your house is built into a rock or mountain. For example, in our case, we're building on stone rocks. And to dig under this wall, the guys have already spent almost a week. They will come across a rock. They must gouge that rock. And after the rock is destroyed, they can only then take it out of the pit and prepare a straight land plot to start building the formwork, the form for the foundation. Flat land plot. This is a straightforward project. Usually engineers take standard conditions and standard calculation technologies and make them for you in a week. I even met a design company called 3-Day Structural Drawings, and they do it very quickly because everything's ready. No need to calculate retaining walls, or foundations. You ordered them to make it for you, and you're ready to build. This foundation behind me cost me in design $6,500. Even simply preparing such land for the start of the operation can cost you around $20,000 to $30,000 for a 4,000 to 4,500 square metered house. That's quite a lot of money and a big investment if you start building a foundation on a slope. But if your site is flat and you are ready to build, the next stage is the form. Your contract will build forms in 3 to 4 days. And budgeting is straightforward. You simply take the size of your foundation in square feet of cement stock, its length and its width, multiply it by the cost of building 1 square foot of foundation and get your budget. And usually on flat land plots, a foundation up to 3 feet high is considered a slab. Then you don't need to do extra footing, and you don't have to pay extra money. In this case, we have 4 feet here on this side. From that front, we had 1.5 feet. One corner comes out 6 inches above the ground. This is a requirement that water does not enter the house. And on the other hand, we also have 6 inches. We did not add footing height cost. Accordingly, our foundation is calculated as a regular slab. Multiplying the width by the length, you get the square footage. Multiply by about $18 to $20 per square footage, and you get the cost of your foundation. This foundation cost us $50,000, ground preparation, tree uprooting, and the step you see in the garage. Here I want to make a stop. Often we underestimate how much such a service costs. For example, if your site is filled with cedar trees, there will be 10 or 15 of them. Get ready, it will cost you between $5,000 and $10,000. Just cut, uproot, and remove it all from the site. And the step you see in the garage. The contract added a little value there and made this foundation in 2 weeks. Guys, think about it. In 2 weeks, the foundation was created. Even though it was necessary to put pipes under the fittings, pass an inspection for plumbing, make electrical grounding, sew fittings, and make treatment under the foundation, that is, drive away ants and various living creatures. And after that, they poured it in half a day. Now I'm in the pool, which we started building before the foundation because later, after the foundation is poured, there will be no access to the pool. Of course, the collection is a little lower now. I'm standing, you see, about 6 to 7 inches. Why? Because gravel will fall on the bottom, a special cushion to bury and give a cushion for the reinforcement and everything else. When the pool's ready, we move on to the same wooden forms for the primary foundation and for the retaining wall. The cost of this pool will be approximately $70,000 to $80,000. It's a small pool, but it also takes up a large part of your budget. It is not included in the cost of the main foundation. Therefore, as soon as you decide to build a pool, calculate how much it will cost you. In front of me, you see constructions with these white lines. They are called barabo. Well, it's just a popular Spanish name in certain strings pulled, which is a corner measurements frame. Here on these threads, we can see our foundation's level. If on this side the line is only a few feet from the ground, and from the other side we took the 0 point, which is 6 inches above the ground, then look at what level of the foundation will be at this point. Of course, this is not the floor level with concrete pouring. We will make a step here. The level of the first floor will be lower by 10 feet. But this thread clearly shows us how much work we need to do, how much we need to go down, whether we need a retaining wall, and how much it will cost us. In this place where I stand, there will be several rooms in this house. A retaining wall will appear behind me. Imagine how much soil was removed from here and moved to another place. We can partially use this soil on those fundamental parts above the ground and backfill there. But it's also an unexpected extra cost in your budget. Where to put the soil? If you have a large land plot and you can move this part of the soil to another part of the land plot, level it, and arrange it as a landscape design, then you're fortunate. But if not, you must pay for tracks to remove soil from the site. Why do people build houses on a slope? It is, of course, for this stunning panoramic view. This kind of flat is almost impossible to get. It's possible, but it's extremely rare. Buying an expensive land plot will cost many times more to have a good view. To get such a stunning view, you would have to build on a slope and spend $200,000 on foundations. And finally, let's count. For example, you bought a land plot, a flat land plot like this one for $200,000, and because it's flat. You bought a land plot on a slope for $75,000 because it has a lot of trees on the slope. You thought it was a small price. You liked the view from this land plot and you bought it. You got involved in a fight. Now let's count. A land plot on flat, the foundation will cost $50,000. We add $200,000 plus $50,000, it turns out $250,000 for your land plus foundation. On a slope, a foundation will cost at least $150,000 or even $200,000. So we added $75,000 plus $200,000. It turns out to be $275,000. I want a land plot on a flat, and you can say this, they are about the same in price and about the same in terms of your participation. But they will differ according to the time wasted, the cost of time, energy, creativity, and the resources wasted, and for the final result. If you're willing to invest $250,000 to $275,000, get a great look, and spend 3 or 4 months doing it, do it. If you're not ready to wait and just want to buy a land plot, do not suffer. Quickly build a house, choose a flat. This choice is up to you. Subscribe to our channel, come visit, and I'll show you all of our projects on the slopes on the flat and even on the top of a mountain.